Hi, this is Kathy Weymouth from Tune the Temple, and this is video 2 on a short series about handling difficulties in relationships by setting boundaries, okay? Setting boundaries with other people. And in the first video, please go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. I just talk about the fact that there's a lot of different scenarios where boundaries could help in relationships. And if you allow someone's behavior to hurt you and you feel discomfort from their behavior, then it's likely that you might be lacking some boundaries, especially if this is a repeated thing. And if you set boundaries, you actually could find something shifting in your relationship in a positive way, usually positive. Sometimes it doesn't go well, and sometimes the relationships are just not salvageable. But in most of the cases, if you're in a relationship that you want to maintain and you want it to be better, then setting boundaries is usually going to help that. Okay, so what are boundaries basically? It's basically you saying what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. It's like you set a limit or a line. I'm okay with this, but I'm not okay with this. I don't feel safe when we go over into this territory. Your behavior over here doesn't help me to feel safe. Okay, so that's not what I'm telling you to say to the person. Just this is how you define a boundary for yourself. Okay, I feel okay with this, but I'm not okay with that. Okay, now I want to remind you something really important about boundary setting. You are talking about you. You're not talking about the other person. You're talking about what's okay for you. All right, so make sure you get that in your head. This is about what is okay with you, your boundary, your okayness, your comfort, your safety. Okay, so I'm okay with this, but when someone goes over here, that's too far, crossing my line, and I don't feel okay. All right, now how about when you set a boundary? How do you do that? Like, what do you say? So try to make it really short. First of all, before you set a boundary, or before you do this process, know what your boundary is. Get it really clear in your mind. Define it, know it for yourself. Okay. And then this is what you're going to do. You're going to actually communicate that boundary to the person, and you're going to share a consequence. So it's 2 C's. You communicate and you share a consequence if they cross the boundary. Very simple, not a lot of explanation. Make it short. So how would you word it? Now, those are all the things I just said is all about you reflecting beforehand, but how do you actually word it to the person? If you're in a close relationship, it's great to start with how you feel. I feel blank when you blank. Okay? I feel this when you this. Okay. And then you share your consequence. If you do it again, I will blank. Okay, so it's very good. I feel when you, and if you do it again, I will. Okay, so let me just give you an example really quickly about yelling. Okay, this is just can be a common thing. I feel disrespected. And maybe you could also add, I don't feel heard when you yell at me in a conversation. It's very simple, very short. If you do it again, what are you going to do? What will I do? If you do it again, I will leave the room. Okay? So it's about you, what you're going to do if they cross your boundary. And you know what? If this is a really close relationship, I suggest that you sandwich this in love. Like, I really care before you start. I really care about this relationship. I want us to stay in relationship. Then you go into, I feel when you, and if you do it again, I will. And then you sandwich it again and say, I really care about this relationship. Make it very short. Don't go on and on. Oh boy, I can be getting in trouble with that myself. I'm a very wordy person if you haven't noticed. Okay. So sandwich it in love. I feel this, especially if it's a close relationship. You could leave that part out if it's not that close. But you basically are saying, when you do this, I will then do this if you do it again, because it's not respectful. It's not comfortable for me. Okay, I hope that helps. And I'll continue with more ideas in the next video. Kathy Weymouth at tunethetemple.com.